How to start a yoga studio and make $180,000 a year. Hi, my name's Nate Jones. I run this channel. I make videos on entrepreneurship, which businesses you should start, and how to start businesses. And today I'm talking about how you can start a yoga studio. If you get value out of today's video, hit like and subscribe. So yoga studio, we're going to go through the costs, how much you can make, what's your cash flow, how you can scale it, and we're going to go through ways in which it can fail and how can we create strategies around making sure it doesn't fail. And we're going to talk through how you can legal this up to protect yourself. Okay, so let's get into the cost because we all want to know how much is it going to cost us, and then let's raise ourselves back up when we talk about how much we're going to make. So the cost, we're going to have to lease a building, usually a retail space or maybe a mixed-use space that would be suitable for a yoga studio. So I was thinking a decent-sized building would be about 2,000 square feet where we can fit a good 20 people, 25, maybe 30 people in there. But 2,000 square foot of retail space would be needed for this business. The average retail cost is per square foot per year is $18 a square feet. So depending on where you're at, it may be more, it may be less, but I used an average so we can go through this because I used average on everything. So $18 a square foot would put us at $36,000 for our lease for the year. On a monthly basis, that would put us at $3,000 a month. To build out that suite, because usually when you get a retail suite, it is not built out for the business in which you're starting, unless you can luckily find a yoga studio that went out of business and took over that lease. But I would ask, why'd they go out of business? So we're gonna have to build out this suite, put our flooring in, the mirrors, basically make it look like a yoga studio so it has aesthetic. That's gonna cost you around $10,000 to build out that suite. I put another $4,000 of expenses for insurance fees and equipment and mats and all that, and just in case the build out costs a little bit more. So our total expenses year one is going to be $50,000. That includes the $36,000 for the lease, the $10,000 for the build out, and the $4,000 for the etc. expenses. How much can we make? Well, I was looking at what's the kind of middle cost of a month for an unlimited package at a yoga studio, and I saw it about $150 a month. Now you can have tons of different packages, but I said, hey, let's make it very simple for the video. At $150 a month, how much can we make? So $150 a month, and I said we could probably comfortably fit 20 people per class, and we could probably have 5 classes a day, 2 in the morning, 1 in the middle of the day, and 2 in the evening. You can always do more, but I'm trying to do an average here. So 5 classes a day times 20 people puts us at an average membership of about 100 members. I think you can have a lot more than 100 members because not everybody's coming every day. But again, I'm just saying, hey, year one, we're still getting traction. I think we can easily get 100 members. So let's have 100 members. 100 members paying us $150 a month is $15,000 a month in revenue. Okay, so let's go through our cash flow. I put everything on a monthly basis because we need to be tracking our cash flow monthly to see if we're doing good. So we have our $15,000 that's coming in. We have our $3,000 a month for our lease, our $1,200 for our build out, and our etc. expenses. So basically that $4,000 plus $10,000 is going to be $12,000 a month, or $1,200 a month. So we have $15,000 in revenue, $3,000 for the lease, $1,200 for the build out and the etc. Puts us at a $10,800 a month profit cash flow a month, which is $130,000 a year. On a yearly basis from the gross revenue, that's where we got the $180,000 number for a yoga studio with only 100 members. Now, the nice thing about this is going into year 2, that build out drops off because we already paid for that year 1. Okay, so that build out is going to come back into our cash flow. So if we don't even increase our membership, we're at $15,000 in revenue, $3,000 lease, only $200 for the etc. a month expenses, puts us at $11,800. That's another $1,000 a month that we're cash flowing, $142,000 a year in total cash flow. I think going into year 2, you can definitely scale past 100 members and really get your cash flow higher. But just from a solo business where you're doing everything, you're leading all the classes, you're doing everything, you can make some pretty good money doing this. But the downside is you're doing everything. You need to find a way to scale this business. And a good model to scale this business is you need to add locations. And while you're adding locations, you need to find yoga instructors to pay by class. So you don't want to have to pay somebody by hour, but you can pay these instructors by class. They want to get paid by class because there's a lot of people that they may be stay-at-home moms, they may be wanting kind of a side hustle to do, so they can show up and get paid $40 to $50 a class, and I'll show you how you can still make money. So let's go through how much are we cash flowing profit right now per class, because we need to understand how much our cash flow is per class so we can understand how much revenue we can give up to still make a profit. So again, we're cash flowing that first year $10,800 a month. That's $2,700 a week. That's $385 a day, assuming we're open 7 days a week. And we have 5 classes a day. That's $77 that we're making per class. Okay, so we have $77 a class right now profit. So what can we give up to ensure that we're still going to be profitable if we have a yoga instructor for the afternoon or morning? So I would say if you pay a yoga instructor $40 a class, you're still cash flowing 77 minus 40. So you're still cash flowing that $27. Okay. So that's not that much, but if you add it up, you as the owner, it starts to become more of a passive business, passive income business. And that's where you would want to add locations, and you as the owner is not leading every single class. You're having other people come in, lead the classes, and you can really scale a yoga business and potentially franchise it down the road. But that's where you want to watch your expenses and watch where you can pay your instructors and know what wiggle room you have if they ask for a raise. Because if you don't know your numbers and somebody asks you for a raise, you're probably just going to say yes, and then you're not going to be making money. So let's make sure we make money in this business. The next thing we need to do, if the numbers are there and we understand what our build out is, what our monthly income is, all this stuff, and it makes sense, what we need to do is we need to think of all the ways in which it will fail. You need to tear down this business and essentially create strategies around why you will make it successful. I have 4 things in here in which why this business would fail. Number 1, no memberships. Sales, 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 sales. Everybody starts a business and they don't think about the sales. They're like, well, it'll come in. Like we'll handle the sales once we start. It's like, no, you need to have a sales strategy before you start. You need to have everything mapped out about how you're going to get people interested in your yoga studio. What type of local marketing are you going to do? Have everything planned out from the sales perspective. So every day that you're going in, you're working on the sales. How can you get people in the studio? Word of mouth, local sponsorships, showing up places, handing out flyers. What are you going to be doing? You need to be having a marketing approach to get memberships in. Number 2, your quality of your class. You need to make sure that you are either a great instructor or you're bringing in great instructors, because if the quality is not there, people are going to say, hey, why am I coming to this place to get my yoga? And if I can go somewhere else where the quality is a lot better. You have to keep your quality, because quality keeps you in business after you start. Bad quality takes you out of business faster than when you started, because nobody wants to go to your shop and nobody wants to pay you a monthly premium. Okay, number 3 here, your location and your vibe is not attractive. I use the word vibe because I feel like it's kind of a yoga word, and you need to have a very attractive kind of relaxation yoga studio feel. And if you don't have a good location, you don't have a right feel for it, people are going to say, I just don't feel comfortable, I don't feel relaxed. People like to go in there and have an experience. And if you're not giving them an experience and it's not a great experience for them, they're not going to stick around long. The 4th thing is failing to scale this business, which that means is you're controlling everything. You don't want to sub out any of your classes to another instructor, and you're a slave to your business. We don't want to be a slave to our business. We want to have our business work for us someday. At the beginning, we work on our business, and then eventually we want our business to work for us. So if you fail to scale, you don't have a business, you just have a job in which you're holding yourself accountable. Okay, so we want to make sure that we scale this out and add locations and have instructors be able to lead these classes where our revenue is going to go down, but our time is going to go up. And when your time goes up, it frees you up to go make more money in different businesses or scale out your current business and have time to think through the ways in which you're going to scale that business. If you don't have time, you can't think of ways to improve your business because you're so busy running it. Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to legal up. So let's say all that's good, you have your strategy, you want to do it, you're going to legal up. You're going to create an LLC because it separates you from your company. Having a completely legal separate entity allows you to protect your personal assets if something goes south. Let's say somebody comes in the yoga studio, they slips and falls because there's water and they hurt their back and they're going to sue your studio. Well, depending on the state and where you're at, there's going to be a separation from you and your yoga studio, so they can't go after your personal assets. They can only go after the assets of the business. So making sure that you have an LLC is very important because things happen and things go south. And speaking of things that go south, you need to buy insurance for your yoga studio because things happen. And you need to insure your build out and your equipment inside the yoga studio, and you need to have liability insurance just in case somebody gets hurt. You also need to have a waiver, which protects you again from people saying that assuming the risk of coming in and working out, that they're in good condition, that they're able to come and potentially get their heart rate up. Have a waiver that is approved by a local attorney in your area so they can evaluate, hey, let's make sure this waiver is boilerplate so everything can be handled the proper way in the event that something goes south. The last thing is, once you've done all those things, you need to commit to starting a business because so many people, they talk about starting businesses, but they never do it, right? And if you believe in this vision, you have this dream of doing this, you need to do it because there's always going to be an excuse for you not to start a business. And the only excuse to start a business is, hey, I want to create my own life. I want to be my own boss, and I want to scale this business to provide for my family and my community in a monetary way and a community way of giving back. So if you got value out of this video, hit like and subscribe. Thanks.